Before kingdoms and empires, before the grand tapestries of history were woven, there was a land born of rivers, mountains, and dragons. This is Vietnam, a place where myth became memory, and legends breathe in the morning mist. Legend tells that the Vietnamese people are the children of a dragon and a fairy. Lac Long Quan, Lord of the Dragons, and Ao Co, a celestial fairy, fell in love. From their union, 100 children were born, the ancestors of a people bound forever to the land, descendants of both heaven and earth. Here, in the fertile plains of the Red River Delta, life began. The river, with its gentle floods and life-giving silt, nourished the first settlers. It taught them the cycles of nature, instilling in them a deep sense of harmony, patience. From these river communities, a kingdom arose. Under the guidance of the legendary Hung kings, the tribes united, and the kingdom of Van Lang was born. This was the first chapter of Vietnamese civilization, a society built on stilts, community, and the rhythmic beat of drums echoing through the valleys. As Van Lang flourished, the remarkable Dong Son culture rose in glory. Their master artisans forged magnificent bronze drums, intricate works of art that were more than just instruments. They spoke of unity, courage, and the eternal rhythm of the land, symbols of a people connected to their world and each other. For generations, the Vietnamese lived in harmony with the rhythm of nature. Their lives were dictated by the seasons, a delicate dance between floods, bountiful harvests, and the whispers of the wind. They were farmers, fishers, and families, their identity shaped by the very rivers that sustained them. But then, shadows fell from the north. For over 1,000 years, foreign powers swept across the mountains, seeking to tame the dragon and bend its will. They brought armies and ideologies, attempting to impose their rule, but they could never conquer the spirit of the people. Even in the darkest years of occupation, resistance burned like a hidden ember. In candlelit caves, rebels sharpened their swords and plotted their return to freedom. The people waited, their patience like that of a river gathering its strength before a flood, knowing their time would come. In the year 40 CE, that time arrived. Two sisters, Trung Trac and Trung Ni, rose against the oppressors. Astride war elephants, these warrior queens led an army into the storm, their courage lighting a flame of freedom that would never be extinguished. Though their heroic revolt was eventually crushed, their legend endured. It became a story of sacrifice and defiance, a powerful memory carried in every heartbeat of Vietnam, reminding future generations what it meant to fight for one's home. A millennium in chains could not erase a deeply rooted identity. Beneath the weight of empires, Vietnamese culture survived, hidden in plain sight. Villagers protected their traditions, hiding sacred relics in temples and passing down ancestral stories in hushed tones, keeping the soul of their nation alive. Then, in the year 1010, the dawn of independence finally broke. Emperor Lai Taito, guided by a vision, moved the capital to a new city he named Thang Long, the city of the rising dragon. After 1,000 years of struggle, Vietnam was free once more. Peace brought a golden age of wisdom and creativity. Under the Lai dynasty, Vietnam became a land of scholars, builders, and dreamers. Pagodas reached for the skies, the first university was established, and art and literature flourished, reflecting a nation rediscovering its purpose. Following them, the Tran dynasty forged strength from unity. Recognizing the ever-present threats on their borders, the Tran rulers built a powerful, disciplined army, preparing the nation for the inevitable storms they knew were yet to come. Their foresight would soon be tested. The world's greatest army, the formidable Mongol Empire under Kublai Khan, descended upon Vietnam not once, but 3 times. They had conquered much of the known world and expected an easy victory, but the dragon refused to bow. The final, decisive confrontation took place on the Bac Dang River. Here, the brilliant General Tran Hung Dao executed a masterful plan. At high tide, he lured the Mongol fleet into a trap. As the tide receded, sharp, iron-tipped wooden stakes, hidden beneath the water, rose to impale the invaders' ships. Fire, chaos, and courage turned the tides of history. Victory brought a profound sense of renewal. The nation healed its wounds through art, poetry, and a return to the peaceful rhythm of life. Villages celebrated, temples were rebuilt, and the land, once scarred by war, thrived again. But internal strife soon threatened this hard-won peace. Civil wars tore the nation apart as rival lords vied for power. The country was fractured, and brothers became enemies, plunging Vietnam into a long and painful age of division. Yet, in times of chaos, heroes rise again. The three Tay Son brothers emerged from the south, igniting a powerful peasant rebellion that swept across the divided land. Their revolution sought to overthrow corrupt lords and restore hope to the common people. Their campaign culminated in the year 1802, when the Nguyen dynasty, led by Emperor Gia Long, finally reunified Vietnam. With its imperial capital in Hue, the dynasty ushered in a new era of stability. Temples flourished, traditions were strengthened, and the nation was whole once more. But peace was short-lived. From across the seas came new conquerors. French ships anchored in the harbors, bringing missionaries and merchants. Their mission was cloaked in the language of civilization, but their ambition was driven by faith, steel, and the desire for an empire. Even under French colonial rule, the dream of freedom endured. It was a dream whispered in classrooms, planned in secret gatherings by candlelight, and printed on presses humming in hidden back rooms. The seeds of rebellion were planted once again, waiting for the right moment to grow. From exile, a leader emerged whose voice would unite a generation. Ho Chi Minh, with his unwavering belief in a free Vietnam, ignited a fire in the hearts of his people. His words resonated across the country, calling for an end to colonial rule and reclaiming the nation's destiny. The First Indochina War raged from 1946 to 1954. In the rain-soaked jungles and muddy trenches, Vietnamese soldiers fought with incredible resolve against a modern imperial army. The struggle reached its climax at Dien Bien Phu, a stunning victory where courage and strategy triumphed over overwhelming power. But peace was tragically brief. The world's geopolitical struggles returned with bombs and borders, dividing one homeland into two. North and South Vietnam were set against each other, and a new, even more devastating conflict began: the Vietnam War. For 2 long decades, the war raged. It was a time of immense suffering and loss. Villages burned, families were torn apart, and hearts were broken. The land itself seemed to weep. But through it all, the spirit of the people remained unbroken. And then, on April 30th, 1975, the guns fell silent. The war was over. In the streets of Saigon, flags were raised and silence gave way to the songs of reunification. The nation was whole again, deeply scarred but unyielding, and finally at peace. In the aftermath, hope returned. From the rubble and ashes, a slow and patient process of renewal began. Farmers rebuilt their homes, children returned to study under open skies, and the people, with steadfast determination, began to rebuild their country and their lives. Today, Vietnam is rising. It is a vibrant nation where ancient temples stand beside gleaming skyscrapers, a seamless fusion of past and future, ancient soul and modern strength. The resilience that defined its history now fuels its dynamic growth. From myth to memory, from struggle to triumph, the story of Vietnam is one of astonishing endurance. The dragon, tested by fire and time, awakens once more, its spirit eternal, its future bright. Vietnam endures, forever resilient. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this story as inspiring as we do, please like, share, and subscribe for more.